Thank you. I will start out by saying I was trying to figure out how to do this and had kind of processed through what I was doing today, and then got all worried and then started a whole other thing. Oh, I have to have somebody to show. And last night I had a terrible class and just felt like I was not, like I get here and I need to remember to be from here. And so I thought, I'm just going to go with my instinct. I'm going to go back to what I was going to do in the beginning, and so that's how this came about. So my insights outside of the box, even though they are in a box, are corn salsa that I made for everybody, and it's a strategy too, and that's to know your students' names. So it has your name on it and strategy. And then if you could pass that out to Dixie, please. And having minute managers, people that do work for you, if you could let me know if I'm going over 10 minutes, since I tend to be windy. For Dan, I can't say it, but triskaidekaphobia is the fear of the number 13.
Triskaidekaphobia.
And so that's sometimes with word help, like we're doing with other students. I think as a teacher, it's good too to say, how do you say that? And get students to help. Aaron used flexibility in instruction, assess, adapt, and apply, and stretching helps too. Carla's not here, but I gave her one of our quotes. I think first, I read later, from Piaget, and it means you are your best resource, so I'll get that to her. Annie, 0 attention equals 0 learning. I think you will keep your students' attention. Michael, it takes 3 generations to unlearn body language that we saw in that 60 Minutes clip, and I think students will want to unlearn that and model what you do because you're really good at it. Randy had to leave, but I gave him vocabulary is the #1 indicator of intelligence. I think he does a great job with that and really builds in any level. He'll do great. Emily's not here tonight, but I gave her, tell the important people in your life what they mean to you. Adrian, use work, relax, rhythm, and learning. I think you're really good at that. I think you balance very well. Nikki, this is also a strategy to use mnemonics. Pink, potentially improving natural knowledge. Josh, rhyme to remember. I think that you are so smart and you have so much going for you, and if you get that little rhyme to remember, you'll help your students and it'll relax you. And Monique, recognition gives information, praise is empty. I think you'll be wonderful at recognizing the value of your students, and they'll really get that from you. So those are my insights to share with you, and literally share with you. My strategies are for, I cook, I process, I like to do that. So I use some things from my kitchen for my strategies. And this is, yes, very beat up and loved, but it is clean. But 0 noise strategy is one whether you're using the hand or you're using the symbol or you're using the counting or whatever. So that's what that means. I use these to cut herbs, and they're really fabric scissors, but I use them in my kitchen for herbs because they're very sharp. But this made me think of video clips. I think it's important to use video clips to get humor in and to really bring a relevancy and illustrate a point other than just as a teacher doing it. I use the things that I put in the salsa as examples too. And this would be for like stations or schema. And that's like, for example, they might group them, or you could, I might use this in a class because I want to have cooking in the class. This is a cold thing that could actually be done in class. I think you can do measurement, you can incorporate everything in, but so stations or schema, you might have like spices together, different types of things like colors together. You might be able to do liquid versus solids together, things like that. So those represent schemas and how you could use stations. For synonyms, which I think is really important, this, you could call it a vegetable, you could call it a pepper, or you could call it a Phacelia pepper, or you could ask students for, again, word help. How do you pronounce, I say Phacelia, do you have another way to say it?
Phacelia. Phacelia.
Phacelia, okay, yeah. So perfect. So again, with synonyms, you can pair that with the word help so that your students are the experts in areas as well. Noise level, the green, yellow, red. My husband's actually already working on a light for me though. This is the arena, one of the old traffic lights, so I can remote it. This is fishbowl. I thought of with the salsa in the middle and the chips around the outside made me think about how that's set up and the value of using that in a little snack. And the strategy of how important smell is, garlic, and that imprints the lesson. So you all get a good whiff of that. The two other things are wait time, which because I did this last night, your wait time is going to be put in the refrigerator because it's going to be even better in 3 days. And this represents, obviously my box, but probably what I'll start with in a classroom. And I hope when I put all these things into it that then I'll have a very full, very tasty, very yummy melded experience. And to end with is the original recipe that I had that I took to make the salsa. This is not actually a salsa recipe, that's how I am. I take something, a foundation, and I go forward with it and make what I consider improvements and changes and things like that. So, and my end story is that my great-grandmother always said, don't give anybody your recipe, or if you do, leave something out. Because if you leave something out, then they can't actually make it as well, and they'll ask you to make it. So, I don't actually practice that, but I love that story. But what I always say is, I don't leave something out when I give a recipe, but when I make something, I always add something special. So hopefully you'll ask me again to make that for you, and it'll be a little different next time.